There are a number of options available to a person accused of a DUI in Pennsylvania. One of the goals of this blog is to educate the public about their rights and the pertinent legal options under Pennsylvania DUI law. If you're charged with a DUI in Pennsylvania, it's important to know your legal options, and also equally important to discuss those options with a qualified expert Pennsylvania DUI attorney who can review your case and help chart out the best course of action. Keep in mind that while a particular option may look good on paper, certain conditions may deem such an option unsuitable for your particular DUI case. Today we examine the Pennsylvania Accelerated Rehabilitative Disposition, or ARD program. ARD is a pretrial diversionary program. It's like being subject to probation, offered to first-time offenders under certain conditions. There are mandatory classes to attend, and those in the ARD program are placed on ARD supervision. There may also be lengthy loss of license for those in ARD, community service, and fees. Many attorneys in Pennsylvania push clients to opt for the ARD option because for them it is an easy way out and to close out your case, so that way they can process a large number of cases in the least amount of time. I and many other lawyers call these lawyers DUI dump trucks because they're only concerned with the volume and not with the person sitting in front of them. At the McShane firm, we examine every case in a detailed manner to help you choose the best course of action that will protect your rights in the best way possible. Our toolbox contains all the possible legal options, including fighting DUI cases through to trial. ARD is offered for first-time DUI offenders in PA. A person will be disqualified for ARD by statute if 1. There's a prior ARD disposition within the last 10 years, unless it's a first offense ungraded misdemeanor where the BAC is between a .08 but less than a .10. Some counties opt for a longer look-back period, so you should be aware of that. 2. The current DUI offense involves a crash that resulted in death or serious injury to someone other than the offender. 3. There was a passenger in the vehicle who was under age 14 at the time of the offense. Acceptance into the ARD program and adherence to the guidelines and regulations will result in a reduction in the mandatory loss of license suspension for all Pennsylvania DUI offenses if you had been convicted of the charge. The loss of license can be summarized as follows. For offenses for people who are under the age of 21, it's 90 days strict loss of license. Controlled substances is 60 days strict loss. DUI with an accident, regardless of who is at fault, 60-day loss. Refusal, 60-day loss, in addition to PennDOT sanctions. BAC over a .08 but less than a .10, no loss. BAC of .10 but less than a .16, 30 days straight loss. BAC over .16 is a 60-day loss of license. As you can see, ARD is not a free pass. There are penalties and consequences involved that need to be weighed and examined thoroughly. Many DUI lawyers will tell you just to take the ARD program as it's an easy way out for them. They don't have to work. While ARD may be the best option for some, it is not your best option, and you may want to fight these charges if you're charged with a rate of higher than .10, you hold a professional certificate of any kind, you hold a Pennsylvania CDL license, you're in the military, you have a special security status, you're a person whose job requires bonding, you're a person whose job requires insurance, you have a case that can be won in court, you have a job or want a job that will review your driving history, your particular facts and the conditions required make ARD an unacceptable intrusion into your life. A specialist DUI attorney can examine the circumstances of your case and help you determine the best course of action. The Pennsylvania DUI attorneys at the McShane firm offer a free detailed initial consultation to explain the details of the charges against you and what you can expect. Please call us at 1-866-McShane for more details. An ARD disposition may affect your career and your life if you're a Pennsylvania CDL license holder. Because if you are someone who is like that, or serves in the military, or has a professional license, you may be held to a higher standard. Pennsylvania CDL truck drivers and ARD have a special concern. An ARD disposition is not a realistic option for them because it will not reduce the license suspension on their CDL license. Many attorneys who claim to be experts in Pennsylvania DUI law improperly advise their CDL license holders to go for the ARD program. This is horrible advice, as it will not avoid a loss of your CDL license for 1 year. Only a not guilty verdict or non-DUI disposition will do that. If you're in the military, a pending charge will not allow you to be deployed or to be into the military to begin with. If you're active duty pending orders for deployment, you will not be deemed to be deployable because you will not pass the SRPs. Besides loss of pension or health care benefits from your discharge, the reduction in rank or discharge can involve huge financial consequences for those in the military. Licensed pilots are another people of particular concern. When they're charged with DUI offenses while operating a motor vehicle, they face legal obligations with the FAA in addition to the potential risks under the laws of the state in which the DUI occurred. Unfortunately, many of them never realize these potential obligations exist, and they end up failing to meet the mandatory reporting requirements, and their DUI attorneys are clueless. Failure to honor these obligations can result in suspension, revocation, or denial of the airman certificate or medical certificate. Interestingly, depending upon the specific circumstances in any given case, this punishment can be worse than that which would have occurred had the pilot initially reported it as required. Remember, the FAA does not care if you are unaware of the reporting requirements and disclosure obligations and will punish your failure to abide by their responsibilities. Doctors, nurses, lawyers, teachers, and other licensed professionals. It's very important for you to consider ARD and what it will do, because depending upon your disciplinary record, the type of charge and other factors, an ARD disposition may trigger inquiry and may be even sanctions from your governing disciplinary board. People who have invested many years in their professional careers should be concerned about how a DUI, even an ARD, can affect them and should seek the help of a qualified DUI attorney. As you can see from these brief examples, there are many factors that need to be taken into consideration before even thinking about accepting the Pennsylvania ARD program. A specialist Pennsylvania DUI attorney can help you weigh all of these factors and help make an educated decision as to whether or not this program is in your best interest. Please call us at 1-866-McShane if you have any questions about the Pennsylvania ARD program and or about fighting your case.